So I want to follow up just for a moment here on this question of the larger implications of YouTube. And I want to make sure that I'm not being misunderstood the best I can on this notion that YouTube really changes the playing field for many people, and it will arguably challenge the monopoly and the institutionalization of knowledge that the university has enjoyed. I don't think any time that universities are going away. I want to be very clear about that. I think universities are here to stay for many reasons. First is there will continue to be many kinds of learning and knowledge acquisition that require facilities. They'll require labs, they'll require space, they will require facilities that bring that sort of stuff about. There will remain much in education that is dialogic. By that I mean it will take immediate presence of question and answer, a kind of give and take dialectic and dialogue for people to hone in and get a sense of what an author is talking about or what a body of ideas are talking about. There's something very, very beneficial about being in a room full of 30 people who have all freshly read the same thing, and we're all haggling about what first the author means and then what the author should have meant and what someone would offer as a corrective or a remedy in the event that they would try to offer a counterposition. I think all of those things, again, are very useful, and they're going to be here to stay. I think so much of education as well is it's caring, it's being there, it's being supportive, it's giving attention to people who are actually struggling. And I think the attentive factor, I mean, it's what Idries Shah would call the attention factor, right? I mean, this itself is what Ernest Becker calls the need for continued or sustained senses of self-worth. I think these are often brought about in the context of teaching, of learning, of a classroom environment where some person who arguably has spent their life devoted to learning is now sharing that with other people, and they're probably, they're very concerned to help those people grow and develop. I mean, for my own case, university absolutely transformed my life. It gave me a life. When I went away to university, my life changed radically. I met very interesting people, and I decided right then and there that my feet were never going to leave university campus. I think that university will also provide an ongoing, it has an ongoing respect for tradition in a way that modern society does not. Modern society tends to take anything and everything and just throw it away at will as long as it doesn't fit with the right now recent or the upcoming new trends. There's a sort of fashionability of the modern world that university as a tradition has avoided. The university tends to respect and give value to traditions, largely because there are few people in there, or it doesn't take that many, but people who realize what could be lost. And there is a great understanding that if something's old, it's not necessarily, quotes, outdated or past its shelf life. It may just be not in fashion right now, but its use or its value is certainly not to just be underestimated or discarded. I think university will have that and will remain with that. I think the other thing here is, and I really want to clarify this, I don't think that just because degrees will mean less and less that means that people should not go to university. I think increasingly many people will still go to university. The point, though, is that they're not going to be able to rely upon their degree to do the work for them the way they maybe have in the past. In the past, there was an elitist good old boys club where if you had a degree and your uncle had a job, well, that's all you needed was a degree and they could hire you, and it was a sort of a rubber stamping effect. Increasingly, more and more people have degrees, and what that means is the degree won't get you the job. There will be a job opening, many people will apply, probably many will have degrees, some will not. Those with degrees the knowledgeable, crap detecting, hungry learners, those are people who are going to be standing out increasingly. Um, the knowledge information explosion has created the conditions for the very knowledgeable people to actually separate themselves out. They can do it quite easily. Now, you can't be any smarter than other people can understand, and part of the savvy is going to have to be able to be learning how and where to disclose what, because there will be a sense, right, of you, you know, some people will need the degree in order to recognize whether or not other people know what they're talking about because they themselves aren't that knowledgeable. That is, unfortunately, has been the case and will always perhaps be the case. But I do think that people who are at university right now, who are currently getting a degree, they're going to have to really come to terms with what it is they're doing at university. It can no longer be, at least for those who care about it, it can no longer be a ticket onto a more comfortable life. If anything, it really forces the issue that today to go to university is to begin a lifelong learning adventure, and that to be a lifelong learner will be what it will have to be. And those people who have developed those habits, who've figured out how to learn more than other people and have more fun doing it while they're making better contributions to the world, these people are, again, they're going to be in a kind of catbird seat. Whereas those people who have a sense of entitlement and think that the degree is going to do it for them, and hanging around and just being a warm body, comfortably fed while you're sitting on the TV, or sitting around watching TV, eating chips, that is going to be a little blip in human history. It's that, if anything, has outworn its shelf life. That is going to be something that's slowly going to be receding as more and more people who do have the motivation and do have access and do have a degree. Now, that's the real point. I'm not saying that the degrees won't matter. It's that the degree won't be the critical point because everyone has one, or increasing numbers of people have them. What will make you stand out is, do you have a degree, and are you genuinely able to think critically, able to formulate questions to original and once occurrent events? Are you able to discern well-informed information from very dubious, questionable information? Are you able to understand the difference between a reputable source and a non-reputable source? What kind of awareness do you have of other people and the larger world, and how does all that bear into what you have to do for your job? I think the point of the story is, I just wanted to follow up on what I think university will be in the future. I don't think university is going away. But the role that it will serve to those who have degrees is certainly going to change. It will be the learners who are going to inherit the world. Okay, thanks.